have kids, so.
That was enough.
And it was not.
Bruce caught on fire, Richard fell out of the car.
Yeah.
Then a drunk man hit her coming down from Aunt Patsy's, I'll never forget that. And Aunt
What?
Patsy always had hard toilet paper.
Wait,
Remember that guy that pulled out and smacked you? I'll never forget it.
What happened there?
Oh,
She was either taking us or picking us, I think she was taking us.
I-
No, you had dropped us off
honey,
At
I'm
Aunt
going
Patsy's.
down 50,
to spend the night. 'Cause
Aunt
I love spending the night with Aunt Patsy. She'll tell you, I loved Aunt
Where
Patsy.
did Patsy live?
Down on
when I was driving down Foothill
Boulevard. Yep.
and,
She got hit, a drunk driver.
you
Flying out of the
remember
driveway.
Foothill goes over the wash,
Yeah.
and, the terrace, what?
Yes.
What,
I'll
Yes.
never forget that.
I know what you're talking about.
okay, and the orange, there's an orange,
Yes. Oh, that's when Patsy married, Bill
Yes,
Fern.
because she was
Bill
with,
Fern. She was up, the canyon there.
okay, we were.
Oh my gosh.
and I was spending the night
And
with
when
Aunt
all the
Patsy.
kids was in the car, and I brought real stuff, you know, I had an old car.
It was round, it was real round.
It was old. I don't
Four-door,
even know the model of it.
Green, I remember it clear as day.
And I was driving down there, and it had a clutch,
yep,
you know, a stick shift.
yep.
Three on the column.
And we got right there, and it was really dark.
There were
And
no street lights there.
somebody was two
Lying
guys
down it.
was driving 106 miles an hour and hit us in the back, and I
Back
didn't even
in.
see him coming.
Uh-uh.
And I just kept the thing on straight in the dark, and
Bruce and Richard were in it.
and all of a sudden, the highway patrol come up and said, the guy in the back car flew out and was killed. And I never heard anything about it they
Is Aunt
kept saying,
Patsy
all
got
the kids
me?
are okay.
Yeah.
And I said yes, and he just walked away, and I never heard about it, nothing after that.
Cause Aunt Patsy was just, she
Well,
was,
and I was
Well,
scared.
I don't get it. At what point did you leave the kids with, was she already gay?
yes, because it was
No,
a lady
she
she was
wasn't.
with.
Huh?
She was with the woman the night you got hit, because I was spending the night. And I remember Aunt Patsy and the woman sitting together on the couch. And I remember we were all watching TV, and this is where the joke Aunt Patsy and I had, I went and used the toilet and said, your toilet paper's hard. The next thing I knew, there was someone at the door, and Aunt Patsy was very upset because Mother had been hit.
Oh, okay.
And that's all I remember, she got hit.
Yeah,
So I don't know if she had dropped me off, was she coming to pick me up? But
And
I wasn't in the car.
and Bill and I wasn't together.
No, my dad and her weren't together.
And,
Oh my God.
and always what,
I remember that.
my
Thursday.
keeping my family together, my little bunch of ducklings. I think Mother and you guys went with me to see the, 10 Commandments.
Oh, yes, we did. I remember the Ten Commandments.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember
No.
the Ten Commandments.
Well, maybe you wasn't with me, but anyway, we got out of the,
Drive-in theater.
and was coming out.
No, I was not with you.
Is that when Richard fell out of the car?
Yep,
Yep. He
and
rolled out of the back.
I drove out and
The door
Sure.
opened and
and
he
he
flew
just
out.
flew out. My baby flew out the door.
Boy, what a horrible mother.
I know.
That's what they would say to us
And Bruce,
now.
Bruce climbed a eucalyptus tree and fell and hit his head.
Yeah. Boy, Daddy was mad at you at that.
Oh, God.
Daddy, I remember that. Daddy was really ticked at you. He thought you were,
You-
what in the world were you
Bruce,
doing?
Bruce was his baby.
And she says that's why he has that, whatever, rotors.
Do you not remember that Solace, that the football star that committed suicide?
Yep.
I think that was affected Bruce.
Really?
Why? Do you know it?
Well, it
But
connect. Sometimes you
Bruce-
connect with that.
Bruce was very, very intelligent.
Well,
I
we all
mean-
know that.
And a learning ability in kindergarten, it showed out.
Well, who wrote it?
And Richard didn't, wasn't, I mean, I can't explain it. He was very, and I think that fall affected him in his later.
I get you. Is it like concussion thing?
I can't believe, I mean, how would you even know where Patsy lived
What?
during that time? How did you even know where Patsy lived?
Honey, how?
Why would she not?
Well, because when all of this happened, Mother and Daddy, and I moved to Roxford when Bill did his thing. Well, everything blew up then. The kids were up at Bill's with that Rosie thing, that lady.
Oh, no,
No,
the
that
car
was later.
accident, that
I-
car
I-
accident, no.
That was before
That
that.
car accident
Oh, okay.
was long before that.
Well, then that's why I said, I'm getting the years all mixed up.
Yeah, cause no.
You were still with Bill then.
No,
No, I wouldn't.
no, well, let's put it this way, he was already being a hoe. Now,
That was on Harding. You lived on
Harding.
Harding. When he went to work for Bob's Big
Yeah,
Shop.
there you go, I remember that.
And
Richard was a baby.
Yeah, we were little.
Rick,
Yeah, we were little. We were
when
little.
I was carrying Richard,
Right.
Bill worked for Lockheed, and he was the gopher for Braun, the nuclear scientist. And he worked at Lockheed.
He was just a
I
hoe.
didn't work very much, sis.
No,
Let's
he
be
wasn't.
honest.
He
He worked a little bit. He was too pretty to get his hands dirty, now be truthful.
And
Well,
women love my
but
dad.
be truthful,
Yeah.
that we lived on that gray house for the longest time, and he worked at that, and then he moved to, out and built the,
Built
George
what?
Air Force Base, and built all of the,
Huh?
silos.
He did what? He
Built-
drove a truck, but he didn't do no building.
Yes, he did,
No.
Well, I know that you worked 3 jobs to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So I know that you worked your butt off to raise 5 kids. And Bill Rapp never did diddly crap. So
Yeah,
maybe he might have worked a couple of days, but to me,
Grand slam.
ask your daddy. Your daddy
Millie,
knew more.
I know Billy, I know Millie.
Okay.
Millie.
Yep.
treats you like dirt. You have earned every dime you've made. You've raised 5 kids. You've worked 3 jobs at a time. So don't give any credit for anybody else.
I'm not getting credit for anything.
Okay.
Good.
I'm just, the timeline.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
The
okay.
timeline
That's-
was,
Okay.
Is
Because
that what
I
you're
couldn't
thinking
fit, I can't figure out how the kids got to Patsy's.
I
Who
was
was
at
she?
Patsy.
Who was she living with?
I
then?
don't know.
Isn't that weird I remember her living up in the canyon, but she was living up in the canyon, with that guy she married.
I
What?
didn't know she ever married a dude.
Yeah.
Bill,
Well,
and she never divorced him.
Yeah, she never
Well,
divorced him.
Fern, right?
Oh my God, then
Yeah.
she's entitled to his social security. Go.
So
for it.
mom,
We never were
What
able to
is
find
this?
out.
mom and Aunt Colleen,
Fern
tell
Hill.
that part of the
Bill
story because
Fern.
brother doesn't know.
I don't. This is
Okay.
new.
Patsy,
No.
when she was. when
She doesn't. He
was-
doesn't know.
Okay, Patsy.
Before Tina.
Oh, way
when-
before Tina.
When she was a little girl. When she, played the guitar, the steel guitar.
Oh, yeah.
At church.
At church, and she was on the
And
Christian radio.
Saying,
And sang, she was
Oh.
a beautiful singer. And,
it's just,
and
see,
she,
when I was growing up, I was the first child.
Right.
And my dad bought in the school and kindergarten, the lower grades, they had music. And he bought me a used violin. And inside of it was a Stradivarius. A
Wow.
little one, a little thing. And I don't, due to my hearing and my learning disability, which nobody addressed at that time, I couldn't sing anything. And then Debbie,
Patsy,
Carry a tune.
Patsy came along and she had all the
a
talent.
talent. I mean,
She could
she
pick up
picked up piano and sat down and started playing piano.
She did it, she could play anything. She'd hear a song and sit down and play an instrument. Well, then she, was kidnapped, and then after that, she was trying to get herself back together. Well, she had anger management problems. So in junior high, she tried to kill that girl stab that girl in home ec with a knife, with the scissors. Took the scissors to the girl's throat. So she got kicked out of school, and she was what, 8th grade?
Yeah.
So she was still going to church and trying to deal with everything. And then she felt, Bill Fern was like, what, 6 years older than her or something? And so
He loved her.
he loved her, and so he ran off with her to Yuma, Arizona, and they got married. And she was what, 15 and a half or something? 14,
Yeah.
15? And so Daddy found out about it, Mother
Waited a
found
long
out about it
time.
and tried to get it annulled, and they moved up there in the canyon. So how old were the kids then?
Well,
She was
Richard
with
was
the
a
woman
baby.
when Mother had the car accident.
Richard was the baby.
Okay, so that was long after that.
So Aunt Patsy left this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She realized,
Well,
no, this ain't
yeah.
working.
Part of the story that I remember is that Grandma said, "Plumer, go get her."
Oh, yeah, he's done that. No, that
Oh,
was when she
hundreds
overdosed.
of times.
He always did that.
And-
Not when she was married to Bill Fern.
I thought that was part of the deal
No.
there.
No,
Honey,
she was, that was.
My daddy knew
Way before.
everywhere what the babies was.
He did.
My daddy can tell you almost every night where they went to bed. I don't care who it, what, my daddy was so protective of us kids that, it was amazing.
But see, everybody confided in Daddy. Mother
Yeah.
reacted,
Right.
Daddy didn't react. So everybody thought it was safe just to tell Daddy, you know, don't tell Mother, but tell Daddy.
Yeah,
So that's what we all did. But anyway, no, Patsy stayed with him for a couple of years, I think.
yeah,
Couple of years.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then she had Ricky, and then she had, and she always said she had a son, and the doctor that she ran around with, took him, and she didn't know where he went. And she was always looking for her.
Okay, now that's what Skipper knows.
Yeah,
Cause
Skipper.
Skipper knows that doctor.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
He knows that doctor's name. Cause Emmy Lou and all of them ran together.
Oh, yeah, they all did.
all of them.
Yeah, they all did.
And Vernon worked
Cause they were all
for the
experimenting
airlines.
with being gay.
Well, when
Vernon worked for the Tiger Airlines.
Transcontinental Airlines,
I thought it was Tiger.
no, for Kirk Kerkorian.
Yes. It was
When they first.
a lifelong friend.
Yeah. But he only worked there a little bit, and then,
Well, the
She-
two
she-
planes went down. It-
well, I mean, he did, when they got a divorce and all that was going on, I mean, he was a mess, so I mean,
Well-
he couldn't even work. I mean,
But
he
really
was
that
really
divorce was over the loss of their daughter, right?
No,
Oh.
no.
So Tony doesn't know about the daughter.
Okay, when they were young, Vernon.
The Skipper says
How come you don't know anything?
the daughter,
Honey,
and
ketchup,
they never
please.
survived it.
I'm learning.
Honey, you can't.
You in the corner the whole
I was
time?
in the corner a long time.
Recording this, but honey, this is maybe the only time I couldn't tell you all this.
This is why, bring it out, bring it out.
She was born
Wait.
at.
I was
Hey,
only
Mom.
one
Mom,
year-
Mom. Oh.
Mom, hold on just a second.
Go.
I'm 91 years old, and you may not get a rerun.
No, wait, this, you're gonna say, I'm only gonna say it once.
So-
Okay, you need to tell the story, cause I've never heard that Vernon had a daughter.
With Emmy Lou.
Yeah,
I never knew that.
yeah.
Well, Vernon started when he was in high school.
What were those other two daughters, Barbara and,
No, that
No,
was,
that's Carol and Katie, and that's with Aunt Kathy.
oh,
This is Emmy Lou.
This is Emmy Lou. He was crazy about Emmy Lou. And he got Emmy Lou pregnant. So when she, her dad, I don't know if her dad didn't want her to get married. I don't know what it was at that time. Skip will remember. But anyway, they had a little girl. Well, the doctor that delivered that in San Fernando,
Right.
I remember the night, I remember going to the little room,
Yeah.
the baby was there. Well,
And Kathleen was probably 6 months old, 7 months old.
yeah.
I never heard
Well,
of this
no, cause
deal.
they were both born on January.
This is new
Yeah, they
information
were
to me.
both born, well, anyway, in San Fernando, Emmy Lou went into labor. The doctor was at a New Year's Eve party, he got pissed off, came to the hospital, and because it was her first child, it was frustrating for him. And
He
we
was
knew who
drunk.
the doctor was, remember? He lived right there on, I'll think of the
Brad?
Bradley Street, yeah, by the grammar school. Anyway, he came in to deliver the baby and used forceps and crushed her head,
oh my God.
and she died.
Oh.
And the doctor had been drinking.
Yeah. And they
That
tried-
night
they tried
before he
to
comes.
sue and everything. Anyway, They
Killed their
had her-
baby while she was in labor.
And they had, a little well, mother says, I wanna go see the baby. So we all went down, and they had her all dressed up in a beautiful pink little
see,
outfit, and
I wasn't part of that.
a little pink bun, well, you know, mother was gonna go in there, hell or high water.
Oh,
She was gonna see that baby. And daddy too.
Oh,
The
yes.
skipper said grandpa saw her,
Oh,
and
yeah.
grandpa held her,
Yeah,
grandma held her.
yep. I was there.
Grandpa had the hardest time, according to Skipper,
Yep,
grandpa struggled so hard because he got to hold her, but he had to hold it together to help Millie because she almost lost it.
yeah.
She
It
almost-
was, she
lost
was
it.
beautiful. I've never seen, I mean, I thought.
The baby?
Well, you were
She was
beautiful
like Kathleen,
too.
it was just,
She was
she was
just a
just a China
perfect,
doll.
but her whole head was crushed
Crushed.
in.
Oh my
This whole
gosh.
side.
You saw her?
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I mean, you're a little girl, so it's
How
the
old were
first
you, dear?
Yeah.
child.
So what, were you 4 or 5?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. I
You
was,
had to have been 8 or 10,
yeah, 9,
9 or
maybe.
10, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because Skipper says his mother told him, he knew it like the back
I
of his
had to
hand.
been like 9 because Skipper is 10 years younger than me.
Mhm.
So she got pregnant with Skipper.
Right away after that.
Yeah. But,
But,
so
see,
yeah,
See, I remember, I didn't remember the details of that, but I
Yeah,
remember,
Emmy Lou never recovered from it mentally, ever.
No.
She never did.
didn't they name her?
Is
Oh,
Joe
Yeah, she
asleep?
has,
Oh,
she
yes.
had a name
He's
and
trying.
everything.
Yeah.
Is
And she was
Off
buried
and
in
on.
Valhalla.
yeah.
She's
yeah,
buried
yeah.
there, yes.
What was,
she's-
do you remember her name?
No, but Skipper does, I can ask Skipper, he'll tell me exactly, he knows his sister.
I
He knows
remembered
his
it.
sister.
Was it I remembered that name forever.
Yeah,
and now
he-
it's
he
just-
named her.
Elizabeth?
No.
No,
No.
not Elizabeth, if you said it, I'd know it immediately,
Yeah.
because him and I talked enough about it, you know. Because just the Navy picture is
Yes.
proof to him that his father really, because he was adamant that his mother convinced him he was never in the Navy.
Oh, did you show it?
Never in the Navy.
Yeah.
So that's why you sent him that picture?
I sent him the picture of, and
Because
Mother's Bible, it has it written down.
Yeah,
The day he was in.
he believed his father went AWOL,
Well, he did do that.
but never served in the Navy.
What?
Well, he did.
Well,
You
how
have to
can
be
you,
in
how
the
can you?
Navy to go AWOL.
He
Well,
went
he went
AWOL
on a leave.
and never came
and
back.
never went
That
back.
qualifies.
That's true.
But he was like.
He was
14,
17.
15, No, 17 years old or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't really old.
He wasn't
enough
even
to go
supposed to be in the
in
Navy.
the Navy.
Right.
So he never
But
went
see,
back and
all
they
of
didn't.
that information was relayed and he believed it until now he's putting everything together and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. So, because you have to understand, he was close to his mother,
Of
anything
course.
she told him, he's not about to argue with her.
Of course not.
No.
You know, it's like me. I know for a fact Bill Rapp was married before he married her.
Was he?
And I know for a fact that woman probably had a daughter. I just gotta go into the DNA pool and
Man,
find
Tony
her.
really didn't know me. I know.
Oh, he was, yeah.
What?
he was-
Wait a minute. How old were
And guess how I found that out?
Tina?
My daughter.
Tina.
Tina
My daughter.
did
was
an
doing-
ancestry.
No,
Yeah.
my daughter was getting my dad's
Hmm.
genealogy put together and
Tracy.
tracing it all the way back and went, your dad was married before he married your mother. And I go, no, he wasn't. And she goes, come here, look at this. And there it is, clear as day. Yeah, he was. Oh, yes, he was. And her parents made him annul it. Yeah, he was married to,
See, I was so dumb.
You were 15.
mother, he was gorgeous, for God's
No,
sakes.
I was 16.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were 16.
sister had you a year younger.
So,
Okay, I got a question. Well, it's always vague. I always get vague from ish. Sometimes you're right on, sometimes you're right on. You know, going back to Aunt Ricky, when she was kidnapped, did they really find her in San Diego?
yeah,
Yes.
Why do you not doubt that?
Well, I'm
Oh
just,
my God.
it's
Wasn't it the
clarification.
honey, we had FBI agents all over the state
Yes.
of California in our house
I tell them,
24/7.
I told them that.
And there is a.
How long
and
did
I
he
still
have her?
haven't found it.
Oh,
week?
8 or 10 days.
Yeah.
A week.
Was it ever in newspapers?
Yes.
In the San Diego Times.
Well, I haven't found it.
I thought it was
We've
in
looked for it.
the
You
sun.
said that you found it, but
My
I,
daughter found it,
but
what
she's not sent it over yet.
She has never to this day taken the time to pull that back up for me.
That is the only
And there
resource
is
that
a
we have.
picture, there is a picture,
Oh,
cause
yeah.
I saw it.
I mean, it was statewide thing.
I know
It was
I
one of the
remember when-
biggest kidnapping
mean,
cases in the
24/7.
state of California.
How about when she went to court? It was in the paper.
In San Fernando Valley, they went to court, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
They went to court.
Sanford and his son.
Yeah.
It would have been,
And I can't find it anywhere.
But
Oh,
see,
that's
that's
weird,
my
because the
problem,
whole
is
art-
if she was.
Because I went to the
picked up
archives and I
and you
can't find it.
Well,
My daughter found it one time, and
What
there is
year?
a picture. There is one
Oh,
picture.
okay, slow down.
1950?
No. Yeah, it was before I was born.
She was.
Oh,
11.
yeah.
Kathleen was born.
No.
Yes,
Yes, she was, because you were.
Kathleen,
Oh, yeah, how stupid.
Kathleen and Debbie Forbes.
No,
They
not
were. I don't
Kathleen.
think Deborah
Kathleen-
was. I think
I
Kath-
was 4, Kathleen had it in 2. Cause Kathy and I were only 2
Well, I
years
was
apart.
pregnant, probably,
Might have been pregnant.
Yeah,
Debbie.
yeah.
Maybe I was pregnant with Debbie.
Yeah, you're right.
Cause Aunt Patsy in the picture has got long
And
black
my
hair,
mo-
but there's pieces.
My mother
her hair doesn't look
absolutely
right in the
wa-
photo.
was,
Doesn't look right.
we got her back.
Yeah.
And my mother was absolutely crazy.
I'm
Insane.
Grandpa didn't
She
kill him.
was.
And she was, why did you do this, Tina? I mean, Ricky, Patsy. Patsy, what did you do? Blah, 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 blah. And
She didn't do anything.
I walked in and I slapped my mother right across the face.
You did?
I did. I said, you shut up.
Tony didn't know that.
I did. I slapped my mother crazy because she was crazy. She was,
She was not in her right mind.
no. And she did it. I could tell you the spot in the living room with hardwood floors, and I knocked the snot out of her.
So we don't know exactly the year?
I don't remember.
What year was Kathleen born? That's easy.
1949,
So it had to been
January the 1st,
1950.
Good year.
So it had to been,
No.
I was 4. So she was born in 49, 50, so it'd been 51 or 52 when he did it.
yeah. Yeah.
All you have to do is pull up, Frank Homan and his history.
I do, but it doesn't come
It
up.
doesn't come up.
Nothing comes up.
Nothing comes up.
Yes.
Yeah, his prison sentences come up, but has
It's
nothing to
nothing-
do with kidnapping and has
No,
all,
it doesn't.
it has everything to do with all his other shenanigans.
I even
Oh,
had.
Tom.
It has
it's-
everything to do
she's
with-
not lying.
With robbery, with,
Everything.
what was the other,
But
just,
not-
he had multiple counts, multiple prison stays, and none of it has to do with kidnapping.
None.
Oh,
Because I
my
had-
God.
So my concern was
They
that
wanted-
that it was
A A sponge,
It was,
sealed,
it was
something.
sealed because of her being a
age.
juvenile. I don't know.
There
Because I can't find anything.
Then it was sealed because.
So then I went to the archives of the, San Fernando,
Son.
Sun, and can't find anything.
Can't find it.
And
Can't
so,
find it.
and so I haven't, to be honest, I've never looked at San Diego Times. Cause I didn't know that was an option.
Well, that's where they.
But I knew she was found there,
It,
but I have not searched for
Well,
those
so-
archives.
This is tragic because, because the FBI has sealed it then.
yeah.
Somebody must have
if-
sealed it.
There's an
Sealed it
assumption right
somewhere.
there.
But, I mean, it is,
There's an assumption.
it could be a public, it should be public record.
Okay, but going back to her age, you used to, nowadays you can't have a child in a courtroom with that going on.
Right,
She was sitting right there.
yes,
the entire time.
Through the whole time, and
Yes.
she testified.
and,
They had it on a recorder. The day they picked it up, they took her in a room in San Diego and recorded it and played it back for mother and daddy.
What?
Yes, that's how they knew. what
That it was
happened to
Frank.
her. Yes,
And she told what had happened over that 8 days.
everything, every single thing that he did to her. That's how it ended up in court. And he was sentenced to life in prison.
And didn't serve it.
Well,
No.
he got out in good behavior after 7 years, but had to
no,
go directly back.
he
He
served
served,
16.
yeah, he served 15 to 16 years.
He served 16.
Now,
The
that
others,
is
the
interesting
other
because-
sentences that he did, like through Folsom Prison, was shorter sentences, like the
Yeah.
6 and 7 year stint.
But you know what they were?
Yeah,
What?
they were stealing. He got caught
He-
stealing
The-
and
the
and
great-
writing bad checks.
Yeah, he did.
And that time period, he went, stole the raisins. We had a grape vineyard. My dad was really doing well with the dairy and the grapes. And he won, he stole some, raisins from another farm, so my dad would get more raisins.
Okay,
He was
and he
in
got caught
charge,
with that.
and he got caught stealing that. And it ruined my dad's reputation in Madera.
Yep, that I remember. And that's what he got sent to
Yeah.
There's a
Folsom
recording.
for, right? I think that was the
Oh,
Folsom.
from Patsy? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, the FBI has to have it.
Yes,
I mean, they
they
have
have to
sealed
have
it because
somebody
they're the ones
got
that
it.
physically took her into custody, away from him.
Do you know the story of that?
Kinda.
Which thing?
Well,
Just
he
tell it.
he had it, and Bill Parker. I mean, we had a circus going, and Bill Parker went to a mind reader.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Who's
that
Bill
was-
Parker?
Aunt Lily's
Aunt
husband.
Lily's
Oh,
husband.
Bill, Uncle Bill. Okay, yeah. Mustache
He
man.
went to,
Yeah, and he went to a mind reader, and the mind reader said he's in San Diego with
oh,
her.
when she was kidnapped. This is during the time they were trying to find her. Oh, yeah.
And-
Yeah.
And
Really?
Yeah, I remember them. They all said, you have to remember, it's a little house. And my Aunt Lily lived on one street, Bertha lived 2 doors down, Uncle Robert and
And-
Aunt Macy lived next door,
right.
and we lived in that house. So all of the family was right
I
there.
mean, it
All
was-
of them that were trying to find
Help.
out what happened, help.
And
And
then
so
they went all to
Uncle
Vera's
Bill,
home.
I I barely remember this story, but Mother thought that was baloney.
Well,
And balloon.
she just didn't
Yeah.
try.
Okay.
Why?
Keep on going. I'm listening.
Anyway, we had wiretaps on the phone and everything.
Yep.
And shortly after that, like a day or two after that, Frank ran out of money. And he called,
No, he sent a telegram, he didn't call.
well, a telegram. He contacted them and said, send me some monies. And I don't know what his excuse was. But, he went to the telegraph company and he left her on the other side of the street on a park bench. And went across the street to the telegraph office. And her picture was on the front page
Of the paper,
Of the San Diego Times.
Yes,
it had to be.
It had to be that.
and one man walked by
And she told him.
and she said, "That's me on the
She
paper."
said, that's me.
And
And he left and went and got the
and
paper.
he left and went to call the FBI and said, "I think that," and she said almost instantly, a woman came and grabbed her and took her.
Now, was it
Well,
just,
the story is, she said that they went, after he had sent Daddy the thing, he came out and they were sitting on the bench. He's waiting for Daddy to respond, and they're sitting on the bench, and it was very quiet, and she says, all of a sudden, a man says, Frank Coleman, and before he could think, he'd turn around and said, yes, and the gun was right there.
Yeah.
And they separated them instantly.
was there a woman in this story with Frank? A woman with Frank?
She
Well,
said it was Aunt Elsie.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't think it, I
You know
don't,
how many times Aunt Elsie was married and
Yeah.
lived in San Diego? And
so many
that's why
times.
Frank went there.
She lived in, the race car.
But why did she always want Grandpa to forgive him?
Well,
Oh, that was she wanted peace in the family.
so,
Wanted-
but I thought that there was, and I don't know this for
Because
sure,
I
that's why
find
I'm
that-
asking,
I
is,
find that odd.
was there
I
a
know.
woman with
I know.
Frank?
Why
I
would
don't
you
know.
want
I-
your brother to
I don't
forgive
know.
your other brother
I don't
when
know-
he had done something so
remember that.
horrific?
I don't know,
That doesn't even
I
make
don't
sense.
know. But I don't think that Elsie was,
Well, Aunt Elsie lived there during that time, and I can't imagine
she.
Frank
No,
going.
She lived down where,
Cause Sheila researched it, where she lived. She knows exactly where Elsie lived when that happened.
Yeah, so she lived
She's
down
got
there.
She's got it documented.
She lived down there
In San Diego.
Uh-huh.
at that time. So in my mind, that's part of the reason why I want to kind of know more is because Aunt Elsie lived there. And so if Frank, who had no money, needed a place to take Aunt Ricky, where did he go? Because he was gone for a while, a couple days at
It was in a
least.
Oh, yeah.
hotel. It was a
So,
hotel.
so if, and I have no idea whether or not there's a connection at all, but I know that Aunt Elsie was there at the same time as this was happening, and why Frank was down there with Aunt Ricky at that time. So whether or not there's a connection, I think that maybe
I don't know.
Frank. So Aunt Elsie accepted Frank no matter what.
Yes, because
Obviously.
he raped
No matter
her.
what.
She was raped by Ham when she was 12 years old.
What are you talking about?
She was raped by him? He raped her.
Okay, so hold the phone. And what do you, so this is why she's protecting him? So
I just know that it was a fact.
how do you know that's a fact?
I don't know.
You just remember that that's what happened.
Because my father, see, my mother.
Because
and
there's, it's just the three of them. Oh, no, he had five. There was five of them in the family.
I, yeah.
Not my daddy.
My father
Oh,
and mother was married
Right.
She said,
for 9 years and had no
his sister
children.
brought him there.
And it drove my mother crazy because Aunt Bertha
And then.
had, 2 girls.
Deborah said she was in the room.
And my dad
To me,
protected
Deborah got him and taken
Aunt
him.
Bertha,
She was
and
slicing
they
up
all
Oh,
lived
yeah.
together.
to protect her.
It, real close, okay? And son and everything. And when I was born, it was, an oddity.
Okay. Not expected.
It was exceptional.
Okay.
And I got a picture of Grandma holding me. And the 18 months after I was born, I got pneumonia and almost died. And left me with a hearing problem and a heart problem. But all of this time they kept, I was very protected. I was very treasured. I didn't know it at the time. But as I got older as an adult, I realized that I was, somehow the family would talk, they called me Plumber's daughter. They protected me.
Maybe because none had a hard pregnancy or.
And even when I went to Roberts and Macy's house, I would be kept right by Daddy.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Robert was a freak.
Robert was touchy-feely,
Icky.
just like
Oh.
Grandpa.
I'll tell you an incident later on. Anyway, I didn't know, I was very protected. And Daddy protected my grandmother. My grandmother, my grandfather was a scavenger. And he was a political boss and a Mason, and the community, and he had women all over everything. And my daddy was very continually. I mean, I remember one time going to, I must have been 3 years old before, and my daddy made a batch of whiskey down the hill, and he would take me to deliver the whiskey.
Hmm.
And that was during probation.
Yeah.
And so, who would deliver the little girl? Plumber took his little girl with him. He wouldn't be doing that. But every time he would go someplace, he would, he would keep me by his side. And even, when, Frank was, stealing the grapes,
Yep.
somebody came out from a family on a vacation, and they went to Yosemite,
Right.
and he did not leave me home. He right, he drove up there to Yosemite, and I sat right by him. He wouldn't, it never, ever, because he was afraid I would get hurt.
Right. By Frank. Or by anybody, really.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. And he was very protective, overly protective of me. I now realize, but I know the stories, and all of them was, I think I have been told that Frank got out of prison for the raisins, and he came back to get me. And I was already married with Bill. And my daddy told Bill to keep me away from the house. So that time frame, all of that happening, Bill had me in Madeira. There was a lot of secrets that I figured out. since then.
So where from your recollection, where was she taken? From where?
She was taken,
Where did you guys live?
we
Cobalt.
said, when,
Oh my God.
went
I don't remember the
to,
house, but I remember the
San
name.
Fernando on Saturday night
From the house.
from the house. And, you know, Patsy's attitude, you know, San Fernando, just about a block long.
Yep.
Everybody knew
Knows everybody, yeah.
And, I had worked in Woolworth and when I was in high school. So, everybody knew everybody. And he followed us in there, and he parked around the corner.
So he had a vehicle.
Oh, yeah,
He had Daddy's car.
I know.
Oh, okay, so he had daddy's car.
He had my dad's car.
And Bill
The car and her were gone.
and Mom and Dad and I were together. And,
They must have just went ballistic.
and
They did.
she ran around the corner, and he grabbed her, and, on a Saturday night.
From Woolworths?
That's what she just said.
Thrifty drugstore.
She just said that. That's exactly what she said.
That's exactly what she said.
She said something very similar. Yeah.
He grabbed her. And I mean, my dad absolutely went insane.
Cause he knew what was gonna happen. He already
Well, he
Yeah, I
tried to grab a gun and shoot, right in the courthouse. He got a deputy sheriff, and he was gonna kill him right
Really?
in front of the judge.
I don't blame him. And after all these years, we've searched and searched and searched and searched.
I cannot believe that it's
I'm
gotta
telling
be
you.
FBI.
I'm telling you, the only
My
reason
daughter found it,
it's,
and we have not, because Lachelle and I talked, I even had Eddie Lane, our sheriff of Bell County,
help.
go in. Cause I gave him, I
I
was on
told
the
you.
phone with you that day.
Yep.
And Eddie Lane was in there, and I said, Eddie, or sir,
Well,
I
it's-
said,
it's-
sir, Mr. Lane.
They buried it because of her age.
And
I
he
don't
went
know
in-
why.
Cause she was what? She was like 9,
No, she was 11.
11. Still. And so that is the only reason why
Don't,
I think that's the only reason why I'm having such a hard time finding.
but don't
the
family have
storyline.
the right to archive after so many years?
But where do you,
Where do you?
you don't go, I mean, the family doesn't have any right to public, to like
Well,
the archives of the newspapers. Nor do we have really any right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's public property. I mean, you can go, anybody can go find a story. It's not like we have different rights than anybody else. It's finding the dumb story.
Well,
So,
Google would have it.
Well,
No, they
that's
don't.
My daughter
They don't
is
have
not
it.
there, because my daughter found it,